Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Monday Motivation. It's Des here, ready to attack a brand new week. What fine weather as well. As you can see behind me, the sun's out, the sky's blue. It's not red hot, it's not particularly warm. Still need a hoodie, but don't need 4 million layers either, So after the last few months of the wind and the rain and the cold, it's just nice to get a few nice days. And of course at the end of this week, definitely worth looking forward to. The clocks change and the nights start drawing out, which is even better, isn't it? Even more time to get in that all important daily activity. Get out there and enjoy the absolute most of it. We spoke a lot about sort of how different things can affect us, and the short days is definitely one of those. So I'd definitely be looking to make the most of the longer days, find some content to sort of talk about and explain how that can be really beneficial to us. What I want to talk about today on Monday Motivation, what I want to use is something I talk about a lot, to be honest. I quite often say I'd like to think I can help one person, and I normally follow that up by saying I generally do, because I help myself more than anything. A bit of self-care and evaluation, since I've been doing this, has made me really understand what I want to achieve, and I just really want to expand on that on today's episode. But I'll come back to that as ever on a Monday. It's about running down what's on offer through the DOdaily, through the Do Running community, activities we can get involved in. Sorry, I couldn't think there. Activities we can get involved in, free online resources people can use, at their leisure, absolutely no obligation, just things to get involved in to try and keep us on top of the situation, keep us ticking on throughout the week, use the different motivations of each day to sort of see it to an end, and hopefully come through it feeling a lot better for it. We all want a great week at this time. On a Monday, we all wake up hoping it's going to be a great week, don't we? So why not start it with the best intentions, Look at what we do, look at some of the things available, and hopefully we can support and encourage you through it, to make the absolute most. Tomorrow is all about the solidarity session, looking to make a real big push on that in the coming weeks. Something that's been really popular amongst the Do Running community. I'm looking to expand that and invite even more people into that, try and spread the word that it's just it's a virtual session where people come together at the same time, take part in something as a team. But of course, with the restrictions placed upon us right now, they do it from absolutely wherever they are, so with the fact it is an online resource, there's no boundaries to that. So I'm really looking to push that. I've got a few meetings lined up to talk to certain people, hopefully to sort of pass on the idea, to get them to push it with me, and really spread the word about what we're doing. I want to almost create a movement, despite the fact it's a virtual session. I spoke a few times in the last couple of weeks that virtual sessions were there before lockdown, so we can sort of build something, perhaps a movement to get people doing activity, in their own surroundings, but at the same time, and work into something. When we work into something, we're always feeling fantastic, aren't we? When we're working as a team, even better. It's brilliant, to be honest. That's what DOdaily is all about. That's what Do Running is all about. It's about coming together as a community to achieve, to get in our activity, to get all those rewards and benefits. So if you can get involved tomorrow, please do. Like I say, it's going to be the start of trying to build that up. All that we ask of you is to do whatever activity you want at 6:30. Tag us in on some pictures if you want, and we'll share them across the story. All the links will be at the end of the video for you to get involved, And like I say, it's just almost building this once weekly activity session, trying to build it into something quite special, where we can all take part, where despite whatever's thrown at us, we can keep sort of attacking the situation, and we can keep getting in our activity, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? On Wednesday, we've got the Wednesday workout. That's been running for a good few weeks now. It's quite a prolonged challenge. We've been doing 10,000 steps every day throughout Lent. We're up to about day 33, I think. over 10 million steps done. That's absolutely amazing. So between the guys taking part, you know, what we're just trying to prove again, that we can keep moving forward, we can keep setting ourselves targets, you know, things that the situation aren't going to stop us, halt us with. Whilst we can't go to some of the places we want, whilst we can't do some of the things we want, we can still get our activity in, we can still work as a team, you know, and we can still get that achievement as well. Thursday is all about Thursday Thoughts, a live session at 6 p.m. where I come on, you know, try and answer your questions. Whatever you've got to throw at me, try to be as honest and as relatable as I can, you know, and that's the whole point of DOdaily throughout, is about me being honest and relatable about the way I'm feeling, how things have got to me, how things have helped me, you know. So whatever you've got, sort of, if it's about fitness, exercise, injury, you know, whether it's about motivation or mental health or, you know, absolutely anything, I'm prepared to answer it the best I can. Use some of the experience I've built up. Do you know, I'm no pro. I've always said that. I've maintained that from day one, that I'm not an expert in any of these subjects, but what I have got is a bit of experience from absolutely throwing myself into these kind of things over the last couple of years. Do you know, so I have built up some knowledge. I can pass on some information, and hopefully you'll have plenty of questions for me. Keep posting them in. Do you know, any of the comments on the social media or any of the videos throughout the week, and I'll pick them up and do my absolute best. Like I say, I'll be as honest and relatable as I can, do you know, and that's the whole point. Some of them I've had to dig really deep, do you know, and answer some real sort of, well, talk about some issues that are really important to me, but have also upset me in the past. But I'm not afraid to do that, do you know, I'm not afraid to tell the truth. It's what it's about. It's all part of making things better for myself going forward, being stronger about what I do, you know, and hopefully helping others in the meantime. On Friday, I'll wake up to walk, different location, you know, I'll be looking for somewhere. Last week, really enjoyed it again, you know, just getting out and about in Nottingham. Another great location, check it out, you know, Neverfield Lagoon, sorry. A nature reserve just outside Nottingham. Really quiet little place, but I was really flying on Friday morning. I think some of that enthusiasm came across towards the end of the last week, and it really put me in good stead for the weekend. And that's what Fridays are about, using that bit of extra time in the morning, encouraging people to sort of think about what's happened, think forward, you know, not tell anyone what to do, just sort of think how it's working for you, how it's not working, you know, and give the weekend a real big effort. And like I say there, one of the reasons I'm in such a good mood at the moment was the weekend. I managed to get in plenty of effort myself on the back of what I said about Friday and the back end of last week. It was almost a build-up, wasn't there, from midweek, of me feeling much better about everything going on around me, while there's been some really tricky things in the news, things that are easy to get sort of upset about and fed up with. You know, I realised last week, sort of particularly sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, that I really needed to get into the things I can control. You know, whilst I'm always saying that, aren't I? You know, we've got to think about and concern ourselves with the things we can control. You know, it was so important for me to really focus. Whilst I was still doing the things I had to do, you know, I had to really focus on getting that enjoyment out of them again, you know, and really sort of pushing on. At the weekend, I managed to get out and run a half marathon. It's actually the first time I've ran one for over 2 years. I ran it all the way through, so that was particularly pleasing, you know, and I was a bit nervous about it, if I'm honest. You know, it was Kay who was in asking me if I wanted to go and do it with her, and despite all the encouragement I give for people to get running, to get walking, to get out there, you know, sometimes I feel a little bit anxious because of my injuries, because of my illness last year. You know, I feel a little bit anxious about actually getting out there and doing it myself. And that's one of the things I've come to learn through doing DOdaily. You know, it's so important to keep looking at what we do and what works and what doesn't. Whilst I don't want people stressing and getting anxious all the time about, you know, this, that or the other unimportant things, I think sometimes you just have to realise, particularly when it's not working, is why it's not working. Look into it a little bit deeper. Do you know, it's not weakness, it's not it's not stupidity. Do you know, what we have to do is sort of evaluate. And one of the things I was doing with the running in particular was, after my operation, which was the December before last, I thought I could hit it hard again. Do you know, I've got the determination, I built up a certain level of fitness, and I thought I could really attack it, you know. And I had to really sort of, it took until sort of lockdown and getting into the walking and realising how much that was sort of relaxing me and helping me to realise that I needed a break. I needed to take some time out and be patient, if anything, with it, you know, to look at what was working, what wasn't. You know, rushing back with long runs was definitely not working, so I had to sort of build some kind of program, you know. And whilst it's not set in stone, what I've been doing is just sort of steadily building up through the last few months. In November I started running 5k a day, you know, and that's been all I've done most days. I've dropped the odd long run in there, you know. I even did a few big events at the end of last year, but I didn't run them all the way through, and it was getting frustrating that I couldn't do that. You know, things I've done in the past, so I really had to sort of look back and think, how can it work? And that's what I say about DOdaily. It's one thing that really helps me, because it makes me think about what I'm saying. You know, it makes me think about what I've done. Sometimes we can just plod on through life, you know, thinking we know best, you know, thinking that we don't have to change. You know, if we're unhappy at a point, if we're not feeling fantastic, we need to make a change, don't we? It's as simple as that. There's no point trying to be really sort of brave and strong about it, because the reality is you're just going to feel worse, and it's going to get to a point where you feel like absolute shit before and hit sort of breaking point before anything happens at all. So what we have to do is, like I say, is just keep looking at ways to improve, and that's all I've done. Do you know, not just with the activity. Do you know, I've looked at a lot of things. I know my sleeping doesn't work, so I'm looking what I eat and drink and what time I do that. And you know, I don't want to be the ultimate bore with these things, the person who's just constantly sort of looking at themselves and thinking how they can do it best and how they can pass this on. But it's things we need to do. Do you know, it tends to free up a lot more of my mind space, the time in my mind to do things I want to do when I'm out walking, when I'm out running, when I'm doing the research for DOdaily. You know, I feel absolutely fantastic. I feel great about what I'm doing again, you know, because I've not got all these issues sort of lingering around. And going back to just this weekend, I mentioned that half marathon and the confidence that I've gained from that now. But even before that, you know, I did a bit of a session on Saturday, and I took a picture, and I'll be honest, you know, I took a picture and I looked at it, and I actually thought to myself, whilst it wasn't an amazing picture, it's me after all, I actually thought to myself, I actually feel great, you know. And it's not often in my life I could probably on one hand, you know, if ever, you know, I've said that. And I actually looked at a picture and I thought of myself, I thought, I'm actually feeling really great and really positive about what I'm doing. And that's an amazing feeling to have, because like I say, it's not something I'm used to, or something I'm not particularly good at sort of praising myself. You know, I stand here and talk because I'm trying to help and do whatever I can in that sense, but I'm not used to sort of heaping praise on myself. And to look at something like that, to have the confidence to say that I feel really strong, I feel physically strong, I feel mentally strong, you know, all those issues around injury and illness have gone. You know, I actually feel like I'm at a point where I can really push forward. Again, I've got to be careful not to do too much. You know, I've mentioned throughout the last few months, I'm running every day, I'm doing lots of activity. That helps me sort of mentally, probably more so than physically. But when I am tired, I need to sort of take a break or slow it down. Today is going to be a very steady one. You know, I'm going to get my walk in, then get a little bit of a run in at the end, but it's going to be not much more than a jog. You know, as runners don't like that word, do we? But the reality is it's not going to be much more than a jog, because I know I've got to sort of keep this feeling for as long as I can. And if I keep looking at what does and doesn't work, you know, it's not going to help, is it? If I don't do that, I'm going to get sort of bogged down with some of the things that preoccupies at time and take over. A couple of ideas, you know, I've mentioned these things all throughout. There's some birds behind me flapping. I'm sure they're interested in getting on the camera. There they are, look. yeah, a couple of things that I'd really suggest, I had to do this myself last week. Stay away from the news if you're not feeling fantastic. Whilst I like to watch it, at the end of the night, I tend to watch it. If I'm not feeling fantastic, stay away from it. Be mindful of the activity you're doing. That's so important, isn't it? Sometimes it can be too much, but of course I'm there to encourage you if it's not enough. So it makes a real difference when you're doing it. We all know the benefits by now, the fresh air, the mind space, the physical sort of side of it, and the mental as well. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great way, if you've not got much energy, of giving you energy, and that's what I'm finding right now. And also just that bit of being sort of humble enough and being honest enough to say this or this isn't working. That little bit of self-care and evaluation. I wouldn't have used words like self-care a year or two ago. It would have been deemed as something I'm not supposed to do, not supposed to say. But I'm so realising the importance of a little bit of self-care, looking at how it works for me, looking at how what I do, what I say helps others, and it does. Again, I'm not going to be shy in saying that people have come to me and said certain things have really helped and made a difference, and that's what really drives me forward as well. Because I want to help people. That's in my nature. There's times when I felt I've not been able to do that and it doesn't work. I've probably not been able to do that because I'm not in the right headspace, I'm not making the right choices, and I'm not thinking about it enough. And that's really what I want to say today, guys. Hopefully that's made some sense. Just take that bit of time. Don't just expect things to improve just for the sake of it, because it doesn't happen. When we get to a point where it's either too far gone, or when we get to a point where we want to make a difference, things will start happening, things will start changing. And that's what I'm seeing around me, around people who are getting involved with some of those activities I mentioned. So yeah, that's what it is today. That's Monday Motivation. Hopefully you can just even if it's just 2 minutes, just to look back at what worked and what didn't last week. Answer those questions, write it down on a piece of paper. Don't take too long over it, don't mull over it, because then you're probably coming up with the wrong answers. What worked, what didn't, put it down on a piece of paper, look where you can make a difference this week and give it a real go. And that's my Monday Motivation. That's my advice to take forward. Other than that, of course, I'm going to say have a fantastic week. Hopefully this continues for as long as it can. I'm definitely going to be making the most of it while it's about, although it's not supposed to last all week. Let's not be worried about that right now. Make the most of it while it's here. Give it a real go. Get out, get in some activity. Remember, never miss a Monday. If you start with the right intentions, if you start with purpose, you're likely to see it through in a much better state. Until tomorrow, and that solidarity session, really do make an effort. If you can't join us at 6:30, still tag us in any of the hashtags we use. Of course, it's Tuesday training tomorrow, and we'll get those activity selfies, shots, action shots shared across the story. Until then, have a great day, have a great week. Just doing it.